Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. We have some focus today on the neck and the shoulders in our last Thursday of February 2024. So really focus on taking care of your shoulders today. If you feel any pinching or pain, change the exercise, reduce the range of motion, make it feel great for you today. So as we begin our class, you can either come to a chair, you can stand up on your mat, which I'm going to start this way today, or you can even sit on the floor, maybe in simple cross-leg pose. We'll take a nice deep breath in, fill the lungs, and as you do, elevate your shoulders up toward your ears. As you exhale, retract your shoulder blades back and release them down. And when you release them down, try not to just lower them with no energy. I want you to drop them down and really engage the lats. So again, we'll inhale as the shoulders lift. Exhale as we draw back and press them down solidly toward the earth. And I want your arms, as we do this, just to be kind of dangling down. So let gravity just pull your wrists and fingertips down toward the floor, almost as if you had no ability to move your arms, like they were just kind of paralyzed. They're just hanging there. We'll do one more of these. And sink it down. Now, I want to talk to you about the anatomical names for these movements. So as we elevate our shoulders, lift up again, this is called shoulder girdle elevation. As we pull back, it's shoulder girdle retraction. And as we press down, shoulder girdle depression. What I'm not doing is the fourth movement, which is called protraction. So I'm not coming forward with the shoulders. So let's do that twice more. Elevation, retraction, and depression. One more time. Elevation, retraction, and depression. So I want you to hold the retracted and depressed position and just start to move your head in a circular position by dropping the right ear toward right shoulder, lowering the chin down toward the chest, left ear, left shoulder, and then without tossing your head back, just extend the front of the neck a little bit. We'll do two more, leading with that right side. Keep your shoulder blades retracted and depressed, but your arms just kind of loose. And one more. Coming back to center, I want to reset the shoulders. So we come into elevation, retraction, depression, hold, tip the head to the left first, roll down chin to chest, right side, a slight lift of the chin, and two more. Your fingers should be loose, so there's no tension in your arms. I don't want you to create any arm tension. It's kind of hard to do when you're tensing your shoulder blades back, but they move independently from each other. And come back to neutral. Great. Now bring the arms forward. Inhale, any height that feels good. Open out, continue to breathe in, and then exhale just to lower. So we're making just a partial circle. And what I want you to really focus on is when you come forward with the arms, try not to curve your shoulders forward. So it's very difficult to keep these separate. So as the arms come forward, keep your shoulder blades back, 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 and then open out. Now, where can you go with this? Depending on your shoulder mobility, make these a little bit bigger. Oh, it should feel so nice this morning. Maybe you're even coming all the way up and coming back and down. But as your arms lift, try not to let the shoulder blades elevate. Great. One more time. Forward, back, and around. Now let's reverse that. So without curving your shoulders, bring it back. Come around at any height. Keep your shoulder blades back as the arms come down. And your arms themselves should feel pretty loose, not tense. Keep your fingers loose. Good. Now I want to add some movement with the head here with this backward moving circle. So as your arms come back behind you, look to the right. As your arms come forward, look center. And then we'll look to the left. Now I want you to notice, where are you feeling the stretch when you're back and about halfway up? So surprisingly for me, I'm feeling it in my left bicep. So I don't know if that was something that we did on Tuesday that's still a little sore. Because I am a little sore from Tuesday's workout in a good way. Let's do one more, gazing to the left as we come back. And forward and down. So we'll place the palms of the hands together. Lift the arms at any height that you can keep your hands connected. So maybe it's just here. Then keep your arms where they're at and bend your elbows so that your thumbs come back either toward the top of the head or behind the head. And you can explore this. So if you really have good flexibility in your shoulders, you might be able to come all the way up and really reach the thumbs back behind the back of the neck. Ooh, my triceps just said, oh, they're a little sore too from on Tuesday. And try to press some energy into your hands. But if you don't have the mobility to keep your hands connected, you could certainly separate them and then bend your elbows and back down. Let's do that with the breath. So really inhale, reach. Exhale to bend the elbows, keep your abs tight. Inhale to straighten the arms. And exhale down. And let's do one more. And release. And I just want you to let your arms hang at your side and just do some little circles. And your arms should feel really relaxed. It's an interesting concept because we're moving them, but I want them to feel heavy and just barely any control over them, just really loose. Any size of that circle, and then reverse it. So we're kind of letting gravity help this movement to be therapeutic. We're letting gravity pull our arms toward the earth while we're circling those shoulders. All right, let's relax that. Now, if you'd like to use a small hand weight for this one, I want you to pick that hand weight up and hold it in your right hand. And you can use the wall here to place your hand upon a wall and slightly hinge forward. So I'm getting a nice shoulder stretch for my left arm. Then I'm going to let that right arm hang down, let gravity pull it, and then start to do some of these little circles here. Now, if you have a chair also in front of you and you'd like to go a little further forward into a forward bend, then you're going to reach out to the top of the chair or even to the back of the chair and then hang there and get this little circle. And then let's reverse the direction. I'm making the circle about the size of a dinner plate, I would say. And I want you to let gravity separate your shoulder blades so there's no tension in your shoulder blades. You can be slightly protracted here. And think about the extended arm, making sure that feels okay for your shoulders. You can bend your knees a little bit here. Okay, gently rise up. Switch the weight to your left hand. You can place the arm on the wall. Soften the knees, hinge forward. So I'm feeling a good stretch here in this arm, letting the left arm hang. And then whichever direction you want to start, begin that dinner size plate circle. This is a therapeutic exercise you'll see in physical therapy, oftentimes after shoulder surgery, shoulder injuries, shoulder replacement, rotator cuff surgeries. It's really nice and therapeutic. Just releases those tight muscles, moving through a gentle range of motion. I'm going to move over to the chair now, showing that option as well. And then let's reverse that circle going the other direction. Make sure you're not feeling any pain in the lower back by adjusting the bend of the knees, pulling the abs in tight. All right, gently rise. Then optional to hold on to the weight, we'll do that one progression we just did before by lifting up, holding the shoulders where they're at, bending back, pressing up, and just come about halfway right here. So we feel some work in the shoulder. We'll lift and bend, extend, and about halfway. So now this is going to become chair pose. So bend your knees, sit your weight back into your heels. Inhale, we'll rise. Bend the elbows, extend, and lower. And again, your weight's just a nice little option, not necessary to use. I'll do this one more time, then we're going to add some rotation of the head. So as we come down into our chair, look over your right shoulder, and then I want you to slightly bring the weight across to your left, but you're not moving your spine. So I'm not rotating my spine or my hips. I'm just moving the weight across. Come back to the center. We'll lift and bend elbows. Coming up, sinking into chair. Look left, slide your arms slightly across to the right. Good, let's do one more on each side. Checking the alignment of your knees, tracking as you come down into chair. Try not to let them knock in together. Look right, weight comes to the left. And then center, reach up. Bend elbows. Extend. Chair. Look left. Arm shift. Center. Then just let your arms relax as you rise up out of chair pose. Separate your feet a little wider. So this is a wood chop type of action. So as we bend the right knee, we'll bring the weight down, or just your hands, toward the right knee. As you shift to the other side, we'll just gently swing, make an arc, and bring it up. Look down and look up. Now yours might look a little bit different in your shoulders. You may be just coming to here. You can bend your elbows any amount, your knees any amount from side to side in that little lunge. Making sure the knees are tracking. Let's grab one more on this side with our wood chop. Lower right to high left, and then come back to the midline. If you need to set your weight down, Listen to your body here. Now we'll bend the left knee to come lower left, looking down, and then arc up. And as you do this movement, we're not swinging, developing any momentum. I really want you to place the arms in this arc, but I want you to press the arms away from your body each time you go. And then wherever you want to breathe, maybe it's an inhale when you're up, maybe your exhale is when the arms are up. No right or wrong, and your spine is rotating. Good. One more on this side. Coming back to the midline. Nicely done. Let's release that hand weight down. If you're feeling like you need to have a seat back in your chair, wonderful. If not, we're remaining standing for our eagle arms. So this right hand is going to come across the body. Option 1, we're just going to pull it in. And notice my arm is a little lower than my shoulder, so I'm not up here with it, and I can retract the shoulder blade. Good. Option 2, we're going to loop the right or left arm underneath the right, and maybe bring our hands to touch and come across our body. And then we'll look over the right shoulder, really opening up that shoulder blade. Good. Bring the head back to neutral, unravel the arms. Just take a breath, inhale, exhale, bringing that left arm across. Option 1, we can hold it here. Option 2, loop the arm underneath for our eagle arm and look to the left. Now you can kind of tweak this by maybe pulling your shoulder blades back a little more or slightly lifting up your elbows. Find a really good stretch here. And then looking center, we'll take a breath, inhale, and exhale. Let's step the feet a fair amount wider as we set up for a warrior 2 pose. I'd like you to turn your right toes out and point your knee directly over the center of the foot, but keep your left foot parallel with the side edge of your mat. Now, if you start to roll your pelvis too far forward and your knee dips down, then bring your pelvis on a little bit of an angle. It can be directing slightly off from the midline so that you can keep this knee in a really good position. And then we'll open the arms out. Palms are up in that position of receiving. And just one time, I'd like you to do elevation, retraction, and depression, and stay there. So the shoulder blades are really pulled back solidly and pressing down toward the earth. The biceps are facing up to the ceiling, and I want you to keep the biceps turned upward, but just take your wrists and rotate your palms down. Good. So we feel the backward rotation at the shoulder and the forward rotation at the wrists or the forearms. Let's move this into side angle pose. Slightly reach out with the entire body, and then bring your hand down to support on your thigh. Maybe your elbow comes down. And then let's take this left arm, and we are going to circle it down, forward close to the ear, and around. And maybe your shoulder says, I think this size of a circle feels better today. So whatever size that backward circle feels good for you. Try not to let the body rotate forward. Keep it rotating back. And notice along the circumference of this circle, where do you feel most of the stretch? And so kind of diagnose that. And the next time you come around, that's where I want you to hold it. So usually for me, it's right here. But for you, it could be maybe here or out here. So find where you feel the stretch, and let's stay 3 breaths. Good. Now, if you're okay to stay a little longer, turn your head up. Ooh, that challenges the balance. Turn your head down. Back to neutral. Then use the strength of the sideways to pull yourself back up. Release the arms. Hands can come to hips as we shift our stance. So we're going to pivot. Now the left toes go forward. We have the bend in the knee, and we want the knee pretty much right over the ankle. So make sure it doesn't look too far, knees over toes. And then check the alignment of your hips. Now I think I'm developing a little bit of arthritis in this hip, so I cannot turn this knee out as much as the other side. So I need to really focus, okay, this is going to look a little different for me on this side. Make sure this leg is straight, you're contracting the glute, everything is really strong. We'll lift those arms up, turn your palms up, and your biceps will rotate toward the ceiling. Let's do 1 elevation, retraction, and depression. Hold that. Keep your abs really engaged. Keep your biceps facing the ceiling, but turn your palms only down. So we're still drawing the shoulders, rotating backwards as the forearm rotates forward. Then we'll reach everything out long. Looks like we're going to touch that wall next to us. Come down into your side angle pose by supporting here any way that you need to, and then this right arm is going to circle down and really make a nice circumference without coming down like this as you circle. So we're keeping the torso facing forward while the arm circles. And this could feel completely different or look different. Maybe your circle is right in here again. So really listening to your body, and then start to diagnose along the circle where you feel the stretch. Let's take one more completely around to feel that. It could be totally different on this side. And then I want you to find that spot wherever it is and hold it. About 3 breaths. And if you need to come up, you can, or if you can be here a little bit longer, look up and look down. Look neutral. Use the strength of your right side body to pull you up. And relax the arms down. Good, let's pivot both feet to the center. Now you might like to come over and have your chair in front of you if you feel like you need a little support here. You might like to use the hand weight again because we're going to be doing some of those therapeutic circles. I'm going to do it without this time. We'll bring the hands to the hips, or take the left hand and bring it behind your back, just placing your forearm right along the lower back area. Keep your core engaged, soften your knees, hinge forward any amount, and let that arm just hang. And let's circle it. Definitely feels a little bit different when I don't have the weight. And then reverse the circle. Arm feels heavy. And then take a break by pulling yourself up. Keep that left arm behind the back, reach the right arm up, bend the left knee, and take a little stretch. You can also take the right fingertips and try to touch the back of the neck. We're kind of in our back scratch or our cow face arms. And then come back up, releasing top arm, very gently releasing the bottom arm. And then just pause for a moment. Notice what you're feeling. And for me, I feel a release in the side of the neck from having the arm back behind the back. So might have gotten a nice release there. So let's try right arm either at your hip or behind the back. Keep the shoulders nice and steady. Soften your knees, keep your abs tight, hinge forward any amount with or without the hand weight in the left hand. Let's do your little monkey circle. And then reverse. Feel gravity pulling the arm down. And then we'll gently rise back up. Sweep this arm high. Bend the right knee a bit. Stretch or bend the elbow into your cow face. Make sure you're not folding forward here. Good. Come back up. Release the top arm. Release the bottom arm. Pause for a moment. Check in. Big breath. Now you will need your hand towel. So I'll have you take a moment to get that. We're still going to be in a wide leg position. But if you need to kind of wrangle it in a little bit, that's okay too. Let's bring this behind the back. And you can take your hands as wide as you'd like. So if you have shoulder issues, I'd prefer you go wider, but you can cinch it in a little bit. See what feels good for you. And give me shoulder elevation, retraction, and depression. So hold the retraction and the depression, and I want you to pull outward on the hand towel. I'm going to give you the option to stay directly up, or we can start to hinge forward into a wide leg forward fold, letting the arms lift up toward the ceiling behind you. So you might say, well, that was okay until I started folding forward and then that wasn't working. So bring yourself back up. If that's too much of a stress or strain on your shoulders, or separate your arms a little bit more. One more breath. And we'll use the strength of the posterior chain to pull yourself back up. And then releasing the hand towel. Roll the shoulders out a couple of times. Very nicely done. Okay, keep your towel with you. We're going to turn the body toward your chair or down toward the floor. So you can always use the chair for this, or come down to the floor. It's going to be either from hands and knees on the floor or hands and feet using the chair. Good. So we're going to place that hand towel into the right arm or into the right hand. And then we're just going to take it with us as we do a thread the needle. So I just want you to reach it up and then thread it through, relaxing your shoulder down toward the floor. Or if you're up on the chair, you're just reaching the arm across you. And just keeping that pelvis neutral, we'll breathe here. And then pressing into that left palm, we'll reach the right arm back up again. And then lower it down. So we're going to use this hand towel to make a little loop. So you'll see a little, I'm holding it on to both ends, making a little loop with it. Going to bring it back behind me and place my left foot into that little loop. Now, of course, if this is like, not today, Lisa, I'm not going to be able to reach it back, you can also use a yoga strap or just reach your hand back there, but don't make a connection with your foot. And then balancing on the left hand, right knee, we'll start to lift the knee away from the floor. Any height. So this is our kneeling half bow pose. And I want you to contract the left glute by lifting the leg up. Contract the left quad by pushing your foot into the hand towel. Now you might even have the flexibility just to grab your foot with your hand. That's great too. Or if you're not reaching the foot, you're not using the hand towel, it's just going to look like this. One more breath. Then release that any way that feels good for you, coming back to all fours. So I didn't show you the option, what that looks like in the chair or standing with the chair, but it can be done. So you can stay on your hands and knees, or I'm going to come up to the chair so that my left knee doesn't have to bear the weight of my body when I'm doing this. So place your towel into your left hand and we'll thread the needle. So reach it up, stretch, and then thread it through. Hold. Pelvis nice and level. Let's do that inhale one more time, reaching up, stretch. And then just come back down. Make yourself that little bit of a loop. So I'm holding on to each end. And I'm going to put my foot into the loop. It's got to come behind your leg. And then let's just bring that back. So if you're doing this standing, this is a little bit more like dancer's pose. And if you're just giggling at me saying, funny, Lisa, not happening today, that's okay. Yours is going to look like this. So you have opposite hand and foot on the floor, and that's what's important, or hand and knee, so that you're in that spinal balance. Let's contract the right glute by lifting the leg up. Contract the quad by pushing into the hand towel. One more breath. And then release it and let it go. Okay, if you like staying on the chair for the next exercise, you're going to just simply place the right hand behind the back of the head, and you're going to be lifting the elbow, rotating the spine up. That's option one. Option two, you're down on your hands and knees. And same thing, going to rotate the elbow up. Last option is down onto your tummy, which can be a little bit challenging. So you can come all the way down belly, place the palm of your left hand on the ground, supporting your head. The right hand comes behind, and we're going to rotate up. You can keep this left arm on the floor Or place both hands next to the head, keeping the elbow down, and just rotate up. So lots of wonderful options here. We're just turning to the right. Now, if you like using the hand towel, this is great too. You can hold onto the hand towel, put your forehead down onto it, and this way your arms are a little bit further apart. Maybe that feels better. Hopefully you found one that really nails it for you. Let's do 2 more upward rotation. And 1 more. And relax. Take about 30 seconds to give yourself some kind of a stretch that your body might need. So I'm just going to come up to my elbows and push back to a little child's pose. If you're standing up using your chair, maybe you just want to stand completely upright. Take a break from being in that forward position. Okay, you've got your options, either standing with your hands on the chair, kneeling, hands and knees, or down on your belly. We're going to rotate the left side up. So the head is staying pretty much neutral. You're taking it with you as you rotate. So depending on how much your spine can rotate, that's where your gaze is going to be. So if it's just a little, you might still be looking down toward the floor. If you have a pretty big twist, then maybe you're looking clear across to the opposite wall. Maybe even upward toward the ceiling a little bit. Now these are slow, very controlled, in a therapeutic range of motion. Feeling the posterior obliques, really working the erector spinae, strengthening the back of the neck a little bit. And 1 more. And then as you relax, again, give yourself the break or the stretch that you need. We'll be doing some seated work. So if you're standing up using your chair, you can just have a seat right onto the chair there. If you're on the floor, you can press yourself up. Use my little cushion here to sit. And you will need your hand towel. And thank you to Linda for some of this therapeutic work that we're going to work on. See, isn't this interesting how this knee is up so much more than this one? I think I'm feeling just like I'm getting a little bit of joint deterioration. My legs are very, very different here sitting. Okay, so what we're going to do is take that towel, bring it back behind the back of the neck. So what I want you to do with it is, without moving the position of your head, you're going to place it behind your head and pull out with your hands as if you're creating a solid object behind you. And then I want you to push back into the towel, but don't let the towel move. So you're actually strengthening the neck by pushing back into it. If you don't have a towel, you can just sit back against the wall maybe and push your head back into the wall or into the back of your hands. Good, and release that. Now just gently start to drop the chin down toward the chest and use a little bit of extra resistance from the towel to stretch forward. Never forceful when you're doing any movements or stretches with the neck, just very relaxed. Good. Bring your head back to neutral. Excellent. Relax the towel behind the back of the head. Now our right hand is going to reach across to the towel that's over the left shoulder. Then the left arm will be on top of that. We're going to give a little bit of tension on both ends and just bring the towel up toward the right ear. And then just gently guide your head to the left without rotating. And again, this can be done certainly without the towel, but it's just a really nice feeling to have the side of the neck supported as we're using that towel to gently give us some, almost like a traction. Good. Now come back up to neutral, and then on its axis, just turn your head to the right, and you're gently pulling along both edges of that hand towel. And come back to center. Now I want you to combine a side bend and a rotation. So you're slightly tipping left ear toward the left shoulder as you're rotating. Little bonus is the work that you're getting in your arms, because I definitely feel some bicep work. Good. Look back to center as you come up and relax the arms down. Give them a break for a little bit. Before we switch sides, place your hands right on top of your knees. We're going to tip to the left, circle forward, tip to the right, and come back up. Just a nice lower back tension releaser. A very nice, easy hip release. And be watching your email. I'm going to get an email for the month of March coming out pretty soon. But March will be Yoga for Hips month. So the entire month, our focus is going to be on hips. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to work anything else. We certainly will. Just going to have a little bit more focus on all the tight muscles that are in the hips. There's a lot of them. Okay, come back to neutral. Now, your left hand reaches across. The right hand goes on top as we reach across. Give a little tug. And then this top arm is going to come across the ear as we side stretch the neck. And just a little bit, you should be in shoulder girdle retraction and depression a little bit there. Core is engaged, a gentle, soft breathing flow, maybe an equal ratio breath, where the length and duration of the in-breath matches the length and duration of the exhalation. Oh, does that not feel just wonderful? Let's bring it up. Now we're going to turn. So I'm using the right arm to gently help in rotation while I'm stabilizing my neck a little bit with this left side of the towel. So you should be feeling the twist is very supported here. And come back to the midline. Now combining, start to side stretch your neck and then rotate it. Again, we're just really conscious of any discomfort, pinching, pain that we might be feeling. And that's why we're making this very therapeutic. It's not about how far we can turn our neck. It's about finding that range that feels really nice, where we can relax those tense muscles. And then come back, turning and bringing it up. And releasing down, place your hands on your thighs. Now we'll start to the right side. And folding forward, coming around. This can be done right in your chair as well. Actually feels quite nice sitting in a chair. Good. Couple more times coming around this way. Feel that really nice stretch in the lumbar spine as you come forward. That's when you're going to exhale. And come back to neutral. Nice. Reach for that hand towel. Bring it to the front. Gently pull outward. And we'll lift the arms any height. And then side stretch to the right while you keep pulling the arms open. Make sure you're not shifting over. I just lost my camera. You know what? This happened to me once before, so I just want you to listen to the sound of my voice. Bring it back up. I think what happened when this happened before is you couldn't see me, but the recording continues to record me. And then just tip this side to side where you have that continuous pressure outward onto the hand towel. I'm just going to take a look at my other device and see what you guys are seeing. You can do this without the hand towel as well. Just keep breathing, side stretching, side to side. Okay, I see that I'm not on there, but I'm just going to keep talking because I think it's still recording me. And then let's do one more each side to that right side. And to the left side. Back to the center. And then just lower the arms down. Yes, I know I'm gone, Linda. Do you still hear me though? We lost you online. All right. Let's see what I can do here to troubleshoot. All right, I think what I'm going to do is end the recording.